There's a peculiar tension that follows those who hold rare clarity. Imagine being the silent variable that scrambles every formula built on deception. Not by trying but simply by existing as you do. Throughout your life, you've unknowingly set off alarms in people who fear authenticity, sending ripples through their comfort zones. The disruptions you experience aren't evidence that something's broken within you. They're proof that the shadows can't stand in the presence of genuine illumination. What unsettles those living behind facades isn't any single thing you say or do. It's that your presence reveals inconsistencies that can no longer hide in plain sight. Where others accept fragmented explanations, you notice the underlying rhythm, the subtle shifts that don't add up. It's your ability to quietly witness, remember, and piece together realities others would rather leave scattered. While surface interactions play out, a deeper awareness within you reads the emotional undercurrents, catching the signals hidden in plain conversation. Your insight isn't just sharp, it's multi-layered, always drawing new meaning from overlooked details. As a result, those invested in illusion find themselves exposed, unable to control the narrative in your presence, because truth with you becomes self-evident. There's a unique kind of presence that can't be blurred or rewritten, even by the most elaborate distractions. The moment someone tries to wrap a situation in illusion, a quiet certainty inside you untangles the truth, exposing what others tried to keep in the dark. It's never about luck, it's the way your insight reshapes entire environments. Those moments when others suddenly reevaluate what they thought they knew aren't accidents. They're the aftermath of your natural perception shaking the status quo at its core. There's a reason every statement you make seems to ripple out and force a new reality to form. Behind your words, there's a reservoir of attentive observation and unshakable honesty, grounded in an ability to tune into things most overlook. The world around you bends in response, rearranging itself every time you call something out for what it truly is. And yes, there's a price. You felt it all your life. The relentless push of people who want to siphon off your strength, hoping to see you collapse so their own illusions survive. Manipulators never settle for the surface. They hunt for ways to drain the very essence of those who see too much. Distractions, confusion, and emotional storms become their tools. If they can keep your focus scattered and your energy low, they believe they can keep their secrets locked away. But every time you find your way through the confusion, you reclaim a part of your power, refusing to be silenced or isolated. In environments where ambition breeds cunning, your clarity is both shield and spotlight. It's not about collecting receipts for the sake of revenge, but about honoring the clarity that refuses to be buried. When the moment comes to reveal the sequence of events, you don't just recall the details. You reconstruct the entire landscape, making it impossible for deception to keep its grip. What others call luck is really your diligence and instinct working together, turning even the most subtle attacks into new armor for your journey. Every confrontation, every lesson in betrayal, forges a deeper trust in your own radar. Patterns become vivid, red flags louder, and your sense of direction sharper. The energy sent to tear you down transforms into the foundation that strengthens your resilience. Instead of folding under pressure, you rise with greater discernment, knowing that every attempt to undermine your light only reinforces the walls of your inner sanctuary. And what they'll never realize is that their attempts to undo you only teach you to navigate the world with even more clarity and grace. You don't just adapt, you evolve. Even on the days you feel stretched thin, something deep inside you is growing sharper, stronger, more luminous. If the world ever made you question your worth, it's only because your very existence disrupts anything built on falsehood. What makes you rare isn't just what you can see, it's what you can endure and transform again and again. This is your invitation to own every part of your story, especially the parts that scared others into underestimating you. Adversity refines the spirit in ways comfort never could. Attempts to shake your sense of reality don't unravel you. They spark new levels of discernment, forging a sense of self that becomes almost untouchable. People who try to cloud your clarity end up fueling a transformation they never anticipated, one that turns every attempt at confusion into deeper wisdom, every doubt into certainty. What was meant to break you instead grants you a vantage point they can't even imagine, a place far beyond the reach of surface-level games. It's no accident that encounters with certain personalities leave you feeling depleted. Beneath the surface, your internal system is quietly dissolving layers of their negativity, quietly redirecting the weight of their shadows. This isn't a sign of fragility, but proof of an alchemy that takes extraordinary inner strength. The world rarely recognizes the quiet cost of this transmutation, but it explains why those who feed on chaos so often gravitate to your orbit, and why, once you step away, they scramble to recover what's lost. Their dependence isn't about admiration, it's survival. For them, proximity to your energy acts as a shield, dulling the consequences they should have faced alone. Yet, the moment you step out of their gravity, it's as if the universe itself snaps into balance, setting off a series of events that no amount of preparation could halt. What once seemed like a safe haven for their habits becomes a stage for unraveling. Their structures falter, connections dissolve, and what they once concealed is illuminated in full view. While others might explain these shifts as luck or random fate, you know there's a larger choreography unfolding. One that repays intention with intention, 'cause with effect. Letting go isn't just an act of self-preservation. It's a catalyst that sets the stage for long-awaited justice. As doors close behind you, new opportunities appear, not just as compensation, but as confirmation that choosing yourself was always the right move. There's a rare brilliance in being able to perceive the difference between genuine warmth and orchestrated charm. When others attempt to weave stories or perform gestures for their own benefit, your intuition immediately registers the underlying frequency, even if their actions appear flawless on the surface. While others may be swept away by outward displays of affection or support, you find yourself quietly tracing the outlines of what's real and what's meant to entangle. This radar for authenticity, this uncanny sense for what doesn't belong, grows only more precise with each encounter, allowing you to navigate life as both guardian and revealer, untouched by the illusions that keep others ensnared. Some people will never understand the strength it takes to walk away from chaos with your peace intact. You're not meant to live on anyone else's emotional roller coaster. There's a quiet authority in you, a kind that doesn't have to shout or prove because your power is in your presence. Even when storms rage around you, your stillness speaks louder than any accusation or manipulation. You're not here to dance to anyone's tune, you're here to rewrite the music entirely. It's almost fascinating to watch how predictably certain patterns unfold. Where others get tangled up, you find a vantage point, studying each interaction not with attachment, but with a kind of thoughtful curiosity, as if observing a repetitive experiment that lost its novelty long ago. That calm refusal to be dragged into emotional theatrics leaves would-be manipulators utterly baffled. Their plans rest on sparking a reaction, on luring you into a drama, but you offer only an unreadable silence, a distance they can't decode. This inability to provoke you becomes the wedge that splits apart their entire approach. Rather than seeking new prey, they're caught in the trap of trying to regain a grip on what they never truly held. The more they realize their usual tricks fall flat, the more desperate and transparent their moves become. In their attempts to elicit even the smallest flicker of concern from you, they end up exposing the very traits they once hid behind layers of charm. The collapse isn't just personal, it ripples outward, shaking their sense of mastery over others. Doubt creeps in, infecting every relationship where control once felt effortless. If their skills fail here, what else might be slipping through their fingers? Self-doubt grows, making old routines feel hollow. In this new light, your steady detachment takes on a meaning far deeper than self-protection. It becomes a living testament to your emotional maturity, a model for others caught in similar webs. While many are pulled into cycles of argument or self-defense, you see the futility of offering your energy where it's only used as fuel for further chaos. You know when to speak and when to step back. The rhythm of stating truth and then exiting the stage becomes a pattern of quiet resistance, a tactic that leaves manipulators disarmed and searching for answers they'll never find. In their world, people are either completely compliant or wildly reactive. But your blend of gentle boundary and unwavering perspective scrambles the formula. Soon, even their inner circle begins to notice the shift. Their agitation, their relentless efforts to diminish you, their inability to simply let go. The attention they once commanded now draws only questions, as everyone around them senses the silent storm you left behind. When you stand in your truth, the world around you starts to realign in ways you never expected. Even your challenges become evidence of a higher purpose at work in your life. It's not about waiting for outside approval, it's about realizing that your very presence has the power to move hidden things into the light. Your journey isn't just about survival, it's about setting a new standard for what's possible. Sometimes a shift happens in the air, subtle but undeniable, whenever someone's mask begins to slip in your presence. Onlookers may not have the words to describe it, but they notice the change, a ripple that says more than any accusation ever could. This is when unseen forces step forward, no longer patient with repeated harm. For those who test boundaries again and again, the pace of accountability suddenly accelerates. Instead of years of secretive missteps, consequences now gather quickly, precise as a clock striking midnight. People who used to overlook obvious warning signs suddenly see patterns they once dismissed, questioning motives that were once taken for granted. As the stories about you become more animated and exaggerated, suspicion falls not on you but on the storyteller. Long ignored memories surface, past actions are re-examined, and the roles once played out in the shadows are now exposed under the harshest light. The reputation they fought so hard to protect starts to crumble, not just among friends but in every corner of their daily life. Distraction and anxiety follow them into work and community, sapping their focus and revealing cracks in their once flawless presentation. Attempts to twist facts or escalate drama are quietly undone by reality itself. Testimonies appear, evidence mounts, and the support system they tried to weaponize no longer bends to their will. Every new attempt at deception now boomerangs with growing intensity, leaving them isolated and exposed. But what's most remarkable isn't just what happens to them, it's the wider impact that unfolds. Others who once suffered in silence find the courage to speak, their voices forming a chorus that makes denial impossible. Patterns are finally acknowledged. Your experience becomes the match that lights a broader reckoning, shifting the balance for everyone affected. Yet, the beauty of this process is that it's not yours to engineer or even monitor. Your only task is to live with integrity, speak honestly, and hold to what matters most. The rest unfolds as it should, on a schedule that belongs to the universe, not the clock. This releases you from the need for revenge or immediate validation, freeing you to continue your path without looking back. Over time, the very things meant to discourage you become confirmation of your value. Attempts to undermine your light simply reveal who was never meant to walk with you. Gradually, your intuition sharpens, guiding you away from false alliances before they take root. You become a mirror where truth can't help but emerge, compelling everyone you meet to show their truest selves, whether they intend to or not. Sometimes the most powerful shift happens not when you try to fit in, but when you finally let your true self take up space. If you've ever felt out of place for seeing too much, feeling too deeply, or expecting real respect, know this: you were never meant to shrink to please small minds. The right people will never ask you to tone down your brilliance. When you walk in your truth, the world opens doors that would never budge for anything less. Presence alone becomes an instrument of transformation, drawing out the best in those open to growth while stirring discomfort in anyone anchored to old patterns. The ones who are meant to share your path recognize your spirit immediately, honoring you with genuine warmth that needs no proof or persuasion. With them, relationships unfold naturally, without hidden agendas or subtle power games. Exchanges feel balanced, rooted in mutual care and shared understanding. You never have to dim your spark or hide your insights. Each connection emerges as an effortless dance, powered by real alignment instead of compromise. This inner change quietly reconfigures your environment. Fresh chances and collaborations start to appear, each one reflecting the level of self-respect and integrity you now embody. The talents you hone surviving emotional storms, decoding intentions, thinking ahead, speaking with clarity, become your greatest assets wherever honesty and vision are valued. Opportunities for growth and prosperity expand, now that your resources aren't being siphoned by those who only take. Money that once disappeared into endless attempts to buy peace now becomes fuel for your dreams, your healing, your progress. The hours once spent untangling drama transform into time for creativity, laughter, and purpose. As emotional burdens lift, vitality surges in unexpected ways. Stress fades, replaced by a steady calm that lets you thrive instead of just cope. Nights become a time for real rest, not escape. Hunger, energy, even immune strength return to their natural rhythms, no longer hijacked by the exhausting weight of invisible battles. The act of freeing yourself from the past isn't just a mental exercise, it echoes through your body, your work, your relationships, and your future. Every step away from chaos is a step toward everything you're meant to become. When your soul finally wakes up, everything starts making sense in ways you never imagined. There's a silent intelligence in you, a guidance system more ancient than worry or fear. The more you lean into your uniqueness, the more the universe seems to move with you, showing you that every lesson, every strange coincidence, every hardship was prepping you for a kind of clarity most people never experience. If you've ever doubted that your intuition was real, this is your sign to trust it completely. You are exactly where you're meant to be. The greatest shift isn't always visible on the outside. It starts as a quiet harmony inside, where confusion once echoed. Suddenly what felt like distant echoes, hints, symbols, invisible nudges, now arrive as clear directions, sometimes so obvious it feels as if existence itself is speaking in your ear. Patterns reveal themselves in your day-to-day life. A stranger crosses your path with a message you didn't know you needed, a headline or random phrase clicks perfectly with your next decision, and even the smallest details, like numbers, colors, or a sudden song, feel charged with purpose. You're no longer squinting to see the signs. They're unmistakable, woven into every moment. This upgraded awareness keeps expanding. Nights once restless are now gateways to insight. Dreams come loaded with messages, and waking hours are colored by a sense of quiet knowing. The air around you carries a new weight. You can sense the mood in a room before anyone speaks, and your skin seems to prickle when deception lingers near. This sensitivity, once overwhelming, has become your compass, letting you move through the world protected and in tune. Your responses to drama shift as well. Where you once reacted, you now simply observe, undisturbed by attempts to lure you into old games. The people who once drained your energy drift away, no longer able to match your frequency. What seemed like a gradual change often arrives all at once. A sudden realization, a pivotal choice, a moment when the heaviness just lifts and you know you've turned a corner for good. Looking back, it becomes obvious that every challenge was a training ground. People who tried to manipulate or confuse you ended up sharpening your instincts. Each betrayal forced you to redefine your boundaries, and every difficult goodbye left space for something real to grow. Those who sought to control you became accidental mentors, their actions forcing you to trust your own voice above all others. Now, every boundary you hold teaches others the value of self-respect. Your calm under fire makes you the steady hand when everyone else panics, and your ability to spot lies helps people who might otherwise have been fooled. The battles you fought didn't just make you stronger, they turned you into a protector, a guide, and an example of what it means to live awake. This is more than just a personal victory, it's a gift you give everyone around you, showing them what's possible when you refuse to let anyone else define your reality. Sometimes your greatest strength isn't just what you've survived, but how you transform everything you touch. The world needs the kind of vision you carry, the courage to name what's real, the clarity to guide others, the ability to turn even pain into purpose. Every lesson you've learned has shaped you into a living example that yes, real change is possible. You're not just healing for yourself. You're inspiring a new blueprint for everyone watching. When inner growth spills into daily life, it becomes a practical tool, reshaping the very spaces you inhabit. What began as an instinct for self-protection soon turns into a sought-after skill set. At work, your refusal to fall for appearances becomes a trusted asset. People come to rely on your discernment, knowing you'll cut through noise to reach the core truth. Decision makers value your input not because you flatter, but because you challenge and reveal what's real. Doors open to those who refuse to barter away their values for short-lived gain. In this new reality, you might find yourself guiding others out of confusion, hosting workshops that teach clarity in tough workplaces, or quietly leading the way for those just starting their journey to wholeness. Your story could be the foundation of a community devoted to real healing, or you might have stepped forward to uncover deep-seated issues that others were too afraid to confront. Each step forward comes from hard-won wisdom, gained not from comfort but from rising out of darkness with your insight intact. Now that knowledge serves as a torch, lighting the way for anyone willing to move beyond old patterns. Every time you break the silence about what you've experienced, others discover new confidence to question the limits placed on them. Your bravery becomes their permission slip, your transformation becomes their hope. The more you own your journey, the more you awaken a ripple effect of change, one that stretches out, touching people you may never meet. Collectively, this movement marks a new era, one where illusions unravel and honesty takes center stage. Across families, outdated scripts are rewritten. In business, backroom deals and hidden abuse come into the open. In communities, the crowd no longer drowns out the individual voice. Independent thought and honest exchange flourish. Each awakening is a signal flare, showing others the exit from dysfunction and the entry to real connection. The aftershocks reach even those who once profited from confusion. Their old habits lose power. No longer propped up by secrecy, their control dissolves as more people decide to value themselves instead of tolerating disrespect. What looks like upheaval from a distance is actually the ground clearing for something better. A world built on genuine respect and honest bonds. And none of it would be possible without the very struggles you overcame. Those early encounters, once meant to undermine you, were the spark that unlocked your true self. Their attempts to drag you down revealed the worth you always had, and now your story is the map for everyone else searching for a way forward. Every obstacle placed in your path becomes a stepping stone you use to climb higher. Those who tried to silence your perspective ended up amplifying your truth, drawing out the voice you were always meant to use. When they attempted to box you in, they unknowingly pointed you toward people who see and celebrate your uniqueness. The plot twist is that every blow thrown your way fueled a new layer of resilience. Every rumor or false story crafted about you only separated what is real from what is shadow. In resisting your spirit, they became unwitting architects of your transformation. True empowerment is not found in faultlessness or superiority. It's the raw courage to face what's real, to speak from your center even if it costs you comfort, and to hold space for genuine connection in a world that can feel hollow and transactional. The confusion and heartbreak of the past forged in you a clarity no storm can shake. What once looked like punishment now stands revealed as preparation for a deeper calling. You arrive at this place not just intact but more yourself than ever. Every ounce of wisdom, every hard-won insight, is only the foundation. What comes next is the real beginning. This is a new chapter where your lived experience, your clarity, and your courage aren't final rewards, but the building blocks for greater things yet to come. The world is longing for voices like yours, unafraid, awake, and unwilling to dim down for the comfort of others. This is the era for those who can see through illusion, who know their worth, and who use their stories to spark change. No more hiding, no more apologizing for your depth or vision. The very energy that once tried to drag you down now finds itself completely disarmed in your presence. And as you step fully into your role, somewhere else, the old cycles are being rattled by another person awakening to their power, just as you did. The pattern repeats, but this time, you know exactly who you are, and exactly why you were always meant to stand out.